8:03. That is enough. Well, let's make sure that everybody can hear. Okay, Denise says that she can hear us now, so that is great. That is great, guys. Thank you all for showing up tonight. If you're watching live, if you're watching in the Facebook group or here in a replay, that's awesome. We're going to basically just have a night of merch with one of the most interesting people in the industry, Neil Lassen. He is going to show not only he's going to share a little bit of background, his story, and how he got into merch and what it's done for him and his life. But he's also going to share with you the software that he created to help solve some of his own Merch by Amazon needs. And we'll kind of explain what those are, what the software does. There's a lot to get out of this show, whether you choose to use the software or not. It's just kind of the icing on the cake. But yeah, Neil, go ahead and introduce yourself, man. Let everybody know who you are and what merch has really been for you.
What's good? My name's Neil. Everyone who's watching this in the Facebook group probably already knows me. I'm all over the Merch by Amazon Facebook groups. But I started merch late 2015, I think. And the only reason I got into merch is because I have a super huge hatred for FBA, or at least I did. So I've been out of the space for a while. But
so you started with FBA though, right?
Yes. And here's the thing. This is what made FBA so difficult. I knew no one in the space. Yeah. I didn't know a single person. I didn't even know Facebook groups were a thing back then.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna try to private label stuff. Like, this is gonna go great. I found a product and I got stuff, China shipped over here. And from there, first few weeks went okay. I went to reorder product. All my stuff stuck in customs multiple times. Thousands of dollars in product stuck. I don't know what's going on. I'm like calling DHL. I'm calling UPS, like trying to figure out what the hell's going on.
Dude, I can't imagine doing that without a Facebook group to
Dude, I had no one to ask. I'm literally just like, I'm thousands of dollars down and my stuff is stuck and I don't know where it is. Like, it's just not there. It's not being released. But anyways, I had met this guy on a forum a few years previous, and we were selling some WordPress plugins. So you're probably familiar with that. But he knew how much I hated FBA. So he sent me this article on TechCrunch, late 2015, that was talking about Merch by Amazon and how it was this great opportunity for developers that had, Android apps or apps on the App Store where you could promote your own merchandise. So I'm reading through this article. And I'm like, well, I have a few Android apps. They're mostly just utilities that I'd paid, a few $100 to get created or whatever. But they weren't doing that much money. But I'm looking through and I'm like, okay, so you put up artwork and it sells on Amazon.com where there's hundreds of millions of people, and then they pay you money. And you don't have to have anything tied up in inventory, and you don't have to talk to – that was the biggest one for me. I didn't want to talk to anyone in China ever again. Right. So I was like, okay, I can do this. I'm not an artist. I have no idea what I'm going to put up, but, what the hell. So I signed up and opened up Photoshop, and I dragged a few things into it, put them up on merch, and within the week I had sold like a few designs. And back then you were making decent royalty, a little higher than today. So the first thing I did was that I went to Upwork and I started saying, okay, who in a different country wants to make me designs for, break even point? Because I only need to sell one shirt to break even.
Mm-hmm.
So I was very familiar with outsourcing because I ran an affiliate business before I did this.
Mm-hmm.
And I hired as many people as fast as possible because no one knew about merch.
Right.
And from then, it went into, okay, this is making a lot of money. This is making way more money than FBA or any of my other projects were. I slowly started to transition and do more and more merch stuff. And the deeper I got into it, the more kind of niche down I was going because I found that's where the easiest money was.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to go for the biggest niches because more people were getting in. But if I could niche down enough and find opportunities where I'm competing with, just a couple people, I can make a lot more money a lot quicker. And then, put that back in and
right.
Just grow. So that's kind of how I started. It's been going strong since then. So coming up on 3 years now. Or
yeah. So, 2015, that
was a while ago.
I know that makes you like one of the OGs as far as merch goes. It's so young.
Dude, that was back before they had like a sign up process where you had to sign up and wait. It was just sign up and get accepted immediately.
Yeah. We call those the good old days now, I guess. We got one. Brooksy?
He's hiding on the other side.
He loves t-shirts. He's they make them on. You ever see the video game Roblox?
Yes.
Yeah, they make t-shirts on those, and they literally sell them for Robux on there. So I'm like, you guys need to start designing t-shirts on merch. That's like, if you're gonna make them anyway. But yeah.
Hey, Matt Shearer makes a good point in the Facebook comments. He says, "How many shirts about drugs and cursing out of your first 100?" I'm gonna be honest. The majority of my shirts were just like, dude, they had expletives all over. Because here's the thing: people buy emotion. They buy emotion. It doesn't matter if you have, cursing on your shirts or not. You need to evoke emotion, whoever you're selling to. It doesn't matter if you're selling T-shirts or widgets or whatever. But, if you could invite, and back then, drug shirts, cool. Everything was cool. It didn't matter because they were just trying to figure out the program. But I had a lot of swearing shirts that I unfortunately had to take down later.
That's a good point, though, that people don't, I mean, especially with so many, I'm just going to let him be here.
There he goes. He's
he gone?
Yeah.
He with selling anything, like you said, I mean, you have to evoke emotion, and especially with Amazon the way it is now, with people browsing so much so fast, with so many other shirts, with so many competitors, people aren't just going to buy boring stuff. So yeah, that's kind of interesting way. I like it when I talk to somebody about an Amazon related thing and they have a bit of a marketing background. It kind of resonates with that. I mean, that's something that
marketing is 50% plus of the whole equation, though. That's what everyone misses. I mean, especially with merch, people come in and they're like, the typical mercher is the artist, right? The artist who wants to create stuff. But the artist that wants to create stuff is missing the whole, salesman part of the job, which is actively selling to people. And the way I actively sell to people is within the listing itself, good keywords. I try to evoke the emotion in the bullet points, tell them why they want the shirt, why they need this shirt over the hundreds of other options they have.
Right. That's a great point. I think that's one of the big objections that is, as common as that people say, well, I don't know how to design. I don't know how to use Photoshop, blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, man, I've never heard someone say, I don't want to do merch. I can't do merch because I'm not a good marketer. I've never heard it, but really that would make to me more sense because, you could make a shirt that is just one font, three lines or 2 lines, 5 words, and you could sell, a boatload of them if if you understand a little bit of keyword research. And then not only, like you said, the keyword research technical aspect of it, and then the emotional sales side of it. If you can merge those two, the design part is just kind of a bonus.
And the thing is too, like, one, it's I think that leads to a lot of frustration, right? Because a lot of people sign up to the program, they're like, I'm going to create this amazing artwork if they're actual artists. And
right.
I'm going to be honest, 50% of the people or more are not artists at all. So half the stuff to come up with is not very good.
Oh yeah, at least.
But I don't have very good artwork either, which is why it's important to pay someone who knows what they're doing in the aspects of your business you're not good at.
Right.
And that's kind of like the foundation of where I started. I'm not an artist. I don't claim to be an artist, and I have zero desire to learn to be an artist. But what I like to do is sell T-shirts on Amazon because it's easy and there's a big opportunity there.
Right. So what was the big difficulty? So you kind of got in back when it was the Wild West. But what were the things that started coming up where you're like, man, there's just, because I mean, when you're one of the first people in the market, the tools aren't there yet, right? You're kind of there, you're there before the tools come. So you were one of the type of like the pioneers who were there and actually created some of the tools like Merch Informer. So what was that like? When did you start to realize there's things that this space needs, and I'm going to be the one that uses these same outsourcing skills? I imagine you outsource the software, right?
No, I have a business partner in another country, Bulgaria. I think he's watching. So
you didn't do the development though, right? Like yourself.
No, I'm not a developer. No.
I would just have been blown away if you did. But yeah, so let's explain that where you started kind of realizing that there was opportunities to create the tools for everyone that was coming into the new opportunity.
So we're all familiar with the phrase "time is money." Everyone's familiar with that phrase, and that's basically why you created Merch Informer in the first place. Is because me and my business partner were both involved in other businesses. Me affiliate marketing, him email stuff, and we're both doing well on merch. And slowly but surely we noticed, oh my God, we're spending more and more and more time in the Amazon search bar, like literally 8 hours a day of just me typing in random stuff across I'm looking at walls. I'm looking at people out in the public. I'm like, what the hell is selling on Amazon? Because I know nothing about the t-shirt market. I had to educate myself. I don't know what's selling. I don't know what people like. I'm trying to figure all that out. When you're spending 8 hours a day on one project, but the majority of your money or your time and focus needs to be somewhere else, you got to figure out how to speed that up.
Right.
So that was kind of the basic founding principle of Merchant Formers. How do we, because we had a system that worked. How do we use that system and speed it up? And that's kind of when we launched Merchant Former. It was very simple. There's like 3 modules. But we kind of built it as sellers ourselves, and then kind of added to it from there as we needed, or as we felt like sellers needed different tools to basically stop wasting their time. They can make the same or more amount of money in little or less time than they were spending before.
Right. Which is worth, I mean, people, the value of people's time is it's unbelievable. It's the one thing that every software I've ever been a part of in some way, I felt like we've tried to sell that.
But you can't get it back. You can't get your time back. I mean, some people don't want to spend a dime on outsourcing. They don't want to spend a dime on software. That's fine. But you're going to be sitting there 20 hours a day, and you might be complaining like, oh my God, I'm working for slave wages, making $3 and I spend 20 hours. Dude, that's your own fault. Like, there's tools and resources out there to help you maximize your time. I think that's probably the most important part with merch.
And one thing that's interesting too about merch is what you kind of like what you said. You're like, I didn't know what people were buying as far as t-shirts go. And I think that that type of mindset, even though I think maybe more people would assume that too, but I think other people would be like, well, what would I be buying? And then they would kind of try to
all the time.
Yeah. But that's usually not really how that's for me, and anything that I've ever done is not really the best way to go about it. Right. Where I'm like, well, I wouldn't buy that shirt about cats. Because, or like, I wouldn't buy that I hate cat shirts. That's stupid because I love it.
Right. Dude, a good example I like to give is I had a shirt that said like something about a sexy chicken lady across. I was like one of the first people in this niche, sexy chicken lady. What the hell kind of niche is that? I don't know, but apparently there's a lot of women out there walking around with my shirt on that says something about sexy chicken ladies.
You're gonna run into one of them, dude, and that's just gonna change.
I probably will. That would be awkward. And
but
the thing is, I would never wear that ever in my entire life. But it's about if you're in this to make money, which I think 99.9% of people are, then you got to sell what the market wants, not what you want.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, and the thing is that the only way to know is to look at the data, and tools like Merchant Former have brought that to the public, to the user base, the people that use the tools. And the different modules that you do have available now. Jay Bain says, "What's Merchant Former?" And Tim says, "I think it's a government spy program." I don't think that there's any overlapping spy features that I'm not aware of, but we'll go through what Merchant Former is. And if you're watching this in the replay, there is probably a link below to Merchant Former for a 3-day trial. And if you use code FBA today at checkout, you get a nice little discount. But yeah, so tell us about your big, I know you had one really, really kind of, I don't know if you wanted to talk about it or not. One like kind of outlier success story with a shirt you made. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure. Which one? I mean, there's been a few.
Yeah.
I've sold some merch businesses. There's that too. I'm not sure what instance you're talking about.
Well, what was like your most popular shirt?
Dude, that's gonna be hard because there's ebbs and flows of merch, right?
Yeah.
I think I'll just talk about a grand topic in general. I mean, most people find it very, very hard to get into the political niche, right? Because everyone and their mother are making Trump, Clinton, anti-Trump, anti-Clinton, Green Party, any party you can think of, political shirts. And it's really hard to get into. But once you get into the higher tiers, and once you understand how to do the keyword research and you put up, a bunch of good designs in those niches and you gain traction. Like I've made tens upon tens upon tens of thousands of dollars, pro, anti, any kind of party you can think of.
Yeah.
I do everything in the political niche, and I do quite well with it. So
yeah, that's awesome. And it goes back to what you said about the emotion. What gets people more emotional?
People get going on politics. Doesn't matter.
And not only that, but it's the type of thing that a lot of people want to, especially during an election, they want to express it. Like literally, like my t-shirt right now, this shirt really doesn't mean much of anything. But like if it were election time, I would be expressing something. I'd be way more likely to buy a t-shirt like that, just with something. I mean, so I like you said, with the ebbs and flows. I mean, what do political t-shirts look like now?
They're selling amazingly well. Like I have a bunch of shirts for Trump supporters. I'm not a Trump supporter myself. I'm so on the fringe of any kind of political argument. But the fact is, Trump supporters really like pissing off liberals.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, that, yeah.
You can watch that on Facebook all day long. If you have like at least 100 friends, you're gonna watch a conversation going down where that happens. So I have a bunch of shirts in that niche that, dude, they every day, every single day, ding, 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 they're selling all day long.
Nice. Hey, you know someone's a real entrepreneur when they're okay with, like, even if they were like a liberal, selling a shirt that was making fun of their own political party, just as an entrepreneur. Like
some people get so like uptight about the whole thing.
Yeah, I know. It's like it's a t-shirt.
It's a t-shirt. Politics are pretty screwed up in this country. Gonna be the first to admit that, but. Yeah, Chris Green posted the other day. He's like, "You guys got to admit, since Trump was president, like we're all selling a lot of shirts because of it." That's true. I have to agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, it was. Politics have never been boring, but they've also never been this exciting.
Yeah, they're a whole new level of like, what the hell's gonna happen today?
Yeah.
And every single day. Okay, back up. We added a designer to Merch Informer, right? The whole reason behind adding that designer to Merch Informer is because, back up a year during the election, what I would do is I'd watch the debates, every single one. I'd watch the Democratic one, the Republican one. I'd watch all the fringe candidates, in every other little party. And every time someone said something stupid, which was every 10 seconds, I'd run into the other room. I'd open up Photoshop. I'd like create a quick text-based design, upload it, and then go back to the room with the TV over and over again. So much money doing that.
That's genius. I mean, and that's the thing, is that we live in a day and age now with so much information moving so fast, like Kafifi and stuff like that. I mean, it's crazy. And I mean, there's obviously a lot of other people are doing that now too, but the opportunity still seems very much alive. But let's go ahead, and I think the fact that anyone said they didn't know what Merch Informer was.
Jay is just.
Oh yeah, Jay's just trolling.
Just trolling me. Yep. That's Jay.
Well, we should still go over it. So let's go ahead. You try to share your screen.
All right, let's see if this works.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Hide myself. Let me know. Can you still hear me?
I can hear you. I just clicked share.
Okay.
Can you guys see our faces over here?
Yep. Now you're in the full screen. There we go.
How's that look?
Yep. Perfect.
All right. I can't see you, man. I guess that's okay.
Yeah, I hid my screen, but you should be good. I can read the comments and stuff.
Can you like turn off my share screen? Because I don't know how to do this. What? I mean, I could just talk, but I can't open the meeting controls, which is a little weird. Zoom cloud meetings. It just says join a meeting.
So it's streaming it looks good.
All right. Well, we can figure that out once we're done. So this is the dashboard of Merch Informer, which FYI might be getting a facelift soon because these videos need to be freshened up. If this is the first time you logged into Merch Informer, you try the free day trial out, or basically, you log in, you have no idea what you're doing. Like, just spend the 10 minutes to go through these videos. They're pretty quick. They're only a few minutes each, but they're going to tell you how to use all the data that we bring back. Or you can go up here and click the Merch Academy, which I basically do all these like long videos explaining how I do everything. But after you're done with all the videos, it kind of depends on where you want to get started. So if I'm, brand new, I don't really know what I want, I'll typically go over to the keyword finder, and I might just type in, I am. So basically what this does is it uses Amazon Autocomplete. Are you familiar with that, Nate? Probably.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, Amazon Autocomplete is incredibly powerful because it's going to tell you, if someone is typing into Amazon, they're a big data company, they're going to be able to tell you, hey, I'm going to recommend this search term for this shopper because I know that's probably going to lead to an increased amount of sales. We have different options up here. You can pull keywords from Etsy or whatever, but I just pulled them from Amazon. And you can come down here and we have all of these keywords with, search volumes and Google CPC and competition. Let's say I'm a cat. So we have this, a details button right here. Click that.
It's a deep shirt.
It is a deep shirt. But the thing is, people, I think the biggest problem when people think, oh, I want to niche down. I'm a cat is not niche down, by the way. But if they want to niche down, they go too niche where they either don't get any sales because they've gone too niche, or they don't niche down at all and they go for something like I am a cat where there's so much competition.
Right.
But, this little detail button over here is going to show you, is this seasonal? If you come in here and you look at like mushroom keywords, you're going to notice this graph goes boom and then falls down and then bam, shoots back up. Because this is going to be Google Trends, if no one's familiar with that. Trends of people searching for different things over time. So it's really good for seeing seasonality. You have some related keywords, stuff like that.
I know there's a lot of stuff in here that a lot of private label sellers should have been aware of as well before, if they were. I know I have a lot of FBA overlap. So a lot of these things you're looking at, like Google Trends and just Amazon keyword analysis, I can kind of tell that you did start. You started with Amazon private label, and some of this stuff is.
Well, a lot of it's from like the affiliate space. I mean, this is what I did. I looked at data, I ranked keywords in Google, all of that kind of stuff. And the thing people need to understand is Amazon isn't like this big e-commerce store. I mean, it is a big e-commerce store, but really it's just like this giant search engine.
Right.
It's a search engine for products. And if you can figure out how to rank yourself within that search engine, like that's where the free money is.
Right.
So niching down, super, super, super important. So I'll usually come in here and I won't use the keywords like I am a cat. I'll come in here and I'll be like, okay, cat is a niche. Or I'll keep going down, I don't know what that is.
I am cat socks.
I am black. I don't know if that's a niche or not, but I might look into it. Black history, that's a niche. Blessed might be a religious niche, right? And I can take those. Let's just take blessed, for example. Okay, and I might go over to the product search. And I just typed in onesie by accident. But as you can see, it's going to show you for this keyword the results that have blessed onesie in them. So someone used this keyword in 2 t-shirts, apparently. As you can tell by the BSR, they've sold. You can open them up. You can look at them. So if this is anyone's shirt, I'm really sorry. But if you look at that shirt, I would assume most people could probably do a better job there. Very, very simple. So it's not selling very well, right? It's probably selling once a month. It's not very good. But
well, I think that you owe it. I think you owe it to the person that shirt that is, Neil, that you need to buy your grandma one.
My blessed grandma, huh? If I sent this to someone, I might actually feel bad. It's
like, what happened? Something's wrong with Neil. He's sending us these weird shirts.
Are people talking over here? Neil is selfish. Get out of here, Amy. No one needs to know about that brand that After Dark should get it. No. Okay, so I'll just let's see here. Neil is selfish. Check this out. It's even an auto suggest. So we did this thing called Merch After Dark where like we got on at like 10 p.m. and things that came. Look at this. What? This is the first time I've seen this.
2020, nice, dude.
There you go.
You running?
Maybe I'm running. I don't know. That's the first I've seen that.
Hey, I like it.
But on this page, let's just redo this one, right, for dog. I'm going to show you why I find it so helpful. So let's say you find a niche. Let's say you've actually taken the time to niche down, which I haven't. I just jumped on here. And once you've niched down, you have your keywords. So, you run it through the product search, and the product search is going to be real-time data in order of the best sellers. So that's probably the most important part, is these are going to be in order of the best sellers on top. Unlike Amazon. So if you just go to the Amazon search bar and you type in, dog t-shirt or something, nothing's going to be in order of best sellers. You don't know what keywords people are using in order to rank. So the best part about this is when I'm going to keyword a listing, I type in whatever keyword I'm using. So in this case, I use dog. And then this keyword count literally tells you all of the keywords that real people used in order to get their products ranked for the specific keyword. So right away that if you want to make money, if you want to get in front of your target audience, all you have to do is string these keywords into a sentence. That's it. It's really that easy. And other than that, I'd come down here, I'd see, let the beat drop. This looks like a nursing shirt. I don't know if they have a dog keyword in here. I mean, here's another thing. A lot of thing what people do is they just keyword stuff to hell. See, a dog appreciation.
Right.
Whoever did that is probably not English. Amazon's probably going to beat down on that at some point.
Somebody posted a great t-shirt yesterday with like an SEO expert walked into a bar, a pub, a watering. 20 synonyms for bar.
The spin tax. Man. No, but the thing is, like, you can come in here and you can look at, you're not going to create a let the beat drop t-shirt, right? But you can come in here and you can see, in the nursing niche, right? Nurses t-shirt, in the nursing niche, what are people using? What keywords are they using in order to rank their nurse shirts? So you can just come in here and look. Like, the data is right there for you to make your own unique nurse shirt and rank it. There's no reviews on this product. So super, super, super simple. Other than that technique, which is I use a lot, Merch Hunter over here was probably the thing that kind of put Merch Informer in front of the most people. So this is a recreation of the Merch by Amazon database. You don't have to enter anything. You just hit search, and it's going to come back with the best-selling merch shirts on Amazon. So as you can see, our man Shane Dawson here with 657 reviews with this unique masterpiece. He's making a mint over here with this because he's like,
oh my god. That is a great shirt.
This guy is raking in the dollars every day. But the cool thing here in the Merch Hunter, since the recreation of the database, click this little like thing over here. If anyone's familiar with Keepa, we actually started tracking all the information before Keepa even knew Merch by Amazon was a thing. So really? we track price and sales rank data over time in the Merch Hunter. So you can find a niche. Let's say you find a niche, you've niched down your keywords. You can come in here and you can actually take a look. Are people actively buying in this niche? Is this something that I should pursue, or did the only product in the niche sell once and then never sold again? Right? Because if that happened and you're like, oh my gosh, I want to put up dancing iguana t-shirts, and you put up 100 of those because you think it's going to sell really well, but you forgot to look at your historical data, you just wasted a lot of time, most likely, creating and putting all those shirts up because you didn't see where customers wanted to spend their money.
Hillary says she saw someone wearing that shirt at the grocery store.
This one, the Shane Dawson one?
Yeah.
I have yet to see this in person, which is
I'm going to buy it, I think, right after this. That was a great shirt. What colors? It's only got dark colors?
It's, asphalt, black, brown, heather blue, and
they're
dark.
just like all shades of dark.
They're just...
heather blue. Yeah.
Man, if you can build an audience, this is such a bad design. I think it's bad. But here's the thing. He evokes, I don't watch this guy because I think he appeals to teenage girls. But if you can evoke emotion in your target audience, which he apparently is doing.
I don't even know who it is.
Oh, dude, he's a big YouTuber. He's got like 10 million subs or something.
Dude, I'm getting so old. I swear to God.
I am too. The only reason I know this guy because I do merch all day.
I'm on Instagram a lot, and like these people I follow, I'm like, I thought we were the same age. Not even close to my age. Like face tattoos are a thing now, big time. It's like,
dude, no.
It's getting out of control, dude. I didn't know it would come to this. I didn't know I'd ever feel old, and I feel old lately.
No, I know the feeling. I mean, coming through the top sellers on merch. I mean,
Oh, there's that Caucasian shirt. I didn't know that that was on merch.
right here. Yeah, this person might get in trouble. See, it's already. So what we do,
Oh,
is people ask her like, "Oh, why are you keeping in here?" Remember, the Merch Hunter is a recreation of the database, and the reason that we keep them in the best sellers for 3 to 7 days on average is so that you can come in here and see, oh, there's a Caucasian shirt. You open it up and it's gone. And you're like, let me think about this. Why is that gone? You can actually look through and be like, oh, this is infringing so many different things.
yeah.
Maybe I should stay away from that. So it's kind of like a heads up if you're going through the top 100.
Yeah, that shirt was a viral sensation too.
Wasn't it a different one though, if I remember correctly? It had the
yeah, I don't really.
stylized Indian guy.
It looks very similar to that. Whoever it was obviously trying for that same style.
So there's also, you might see this in the top seller. Doesn't mean that you should go make your own Star Wars shirt because this is a brand partner. Star
Right.
Is,
yeah, I think that's important, for people to take note of.
Especially if English isn't your first language, like you need to understand why people are buying these shirts.
Right.
Because if you just go and you're like, oh my gosh, this is selling so well, I'm going to make my own version. Like,
right.
Don't make your own version. You should be making unique stuff. And two, like, look at the listing. Why is this selling? Oh, it's a brand. Don't infringe on someone's brand.
Well, let's show them what Merch Informer. There's so many other features we want to get to. How about we show them what you would do if you're trying to make sure that something doesn't maybe have a trademark?
So if it doesn't have a trademark, the first thing you're going to want to do is go to tests. So let me just see if this autofills or not. I'll just Google tests, search the trademark database. This is literally the first thing you want to do. I'm telling you not to use Merch Informer right away. You want to come over here, search the database, type in Nike, and they're going to come up with all these trademarks. There's 159 of them. And you want to be looking, are these in t-shirts? You can click this. You can see the goods and services. But in order for a mark to be live, it needs a serial number and a registration number, which this one has. Nike has like 1 million different word marks, so I'm not going to go through them. Yeah. But this is the government database, okay? So everything relies on the government database. If it's in here, it's important, and you need to learn how to use this. That's going to take way longer than I can explain now. There's tons of YouTube videos. I did one of them. But you need to know how to use this. So the next thing that's important is once you've used this and you put your design up and everything's fine and dandy, something to keep in mind is that Merch isn't the government, and Merch is an Amazon kind of company, right? Amazon has a lot of money, and they don't want to get sued. So if someone says, hey, your design's infringing on mine, or hey, I have a trademark for this, they don't care if that person does or not. They're just going to take your design down and give you a strike on your account. Right. So I realized that what was happening was that I would put a shirt up and I'd sell it for 10 months. And then 10 months later, Amazon sends me an email, my design's been removed. And I'm sitting there going like, oh my God, I have a strike against my account. Because someone ended up trademarking it down the line 10 months later. It finally went through, and all of a sudden they hit me with that. I'm just like, how am I going to combat this?
Yeah.
That's an issue. I need to make sure, I have so many slots going through, making sure all your trademarks are live or not live. That gets hard after you have more than like 20 shirts.
Right.
So we created the trademark alerts module. So if you just come in here and you type Nike, for example, it adds it to the list. It says not checked yet. So you're just going to hit check trademarks. And then it should come back and say that, there we go. I did not click it. Should come back. It's going to check the database, the government database, and say, hey, is this part of the database or not? As you can see, it's checked it. And hey, it's not safe. So you can add all the phrases and stuff that you have on your shirts. And once you've hit this button once, it's going to check every 24 hours. Nice. So you can come back in here and you can say, are the keywords and phrases on my shirts I'm using trademark? And if you come in here and one day one goes from a green check mark to a red one, then you can go and you can look at the USPTO database and you can say, okay, what happened? Did someone trademark this for clothing? Is this actually a big brand I wasn't aware of? And maybe they don't have a trademark for clothing, but they're still a big brand in the clothing space. Maybe I want to shy away from that. So that's incredibly helpful. So I'm on a little dummy account here. So, but on my main one, this is mostly filled up. So that's extremely helpful. I can just go through these. What this is the merch tracker. So I put a pop socket in here, but you can put in an ASIN of your shirt, and it's going to track that ASIN over time. So you can come in here and hit this history button. It's going to open up the same graph that you saw in the Merch Hunter. It's just data, right? If you don't know what to do with the data, it's going to be useless to you, which is why you need to watch all the videos over here or watch the free videos in the Merch Academy up here. But once you know how to use that data, very, very easy to use. One thing I do want to go over, though, for sure, is the merch archive. So we actually started archiving the best T-shirts sold on a particular day quite a long time ago. So we can go back to, let's see, 2017 here, and we can go to October, what's the main holiday in October?
This becomes like so much more valuable after a year of time.
Oh, I know, but no one's using it in this way, right? You can go in October and you can just hit search, and what that's going to do is it's going to show you. Actually, maybe we don't have data for October. Let's see. Yeah, we started grabbing this somewhere mid-October. So come in here. This is going to show you the top selling shirts on merch October 26th, 2017.
Nice.
You can come in here and you can say, oh, hey, Coca-Cola was a brand partner. They're selling pretty well. But what I'm looking at is, guys, Halloween is coming up. You can come in here. You can see, hey, look at these Halloween designs that were doing well. And would you look at that? All the keyword data that got them in the position to sell hundreds upon hundreds, if not thousands of shirts a month.
Right.
Like, it's all right here, and you can get a head start on everyone because no one's uploading their Halloween stuff right now.
Right. And people should be doing that in advance, right? Way before,
like 30 to 60 days. I'm usually like 2 months out of any holiday. But this right here, no one is doing this. I haven't even really talked about this much. If you can come in here before holidays, and just look at the actual data. Now, granted, don't do this stuff. I mean, I'm almost assuming this is gone, right? Yeah, it's gone. Infringing on M&M brands. But you come in here and you can look at exactly what keywords people are using to rank their stuff. The same goes for the keyword cloud, right? So the merch archive is going to show you the actual listings. But what the keyword cloud is going to do, I'll just pick a random day here. It's going to show you the actual 1-word, 2-word, and 3-word phrases on a specific day that were leading to the most sales on that day. So you can come in here and you can go, hey, like back to school, people in August 15th, which was what, a couple weeks ago?
13 days ago.
Back to school was a thing, which if you live around a school, a lot of kids are going back to school. So that's clearly popular. When next year rolls around, you can come back in here and say, I wonder what was popular for August 2018. And you can say, oh, back to school. And you can make sure you jump back a few months, right? And you start your designing in June.
That's so sweet.
And it's so easy to do. Instead of just sitting at your computer and saying, I wonder what I'm going to design today. Like 10 minutes. Spend 10 minutes looking at what the data says you should design, and then do that, and you're going to make 10 times more money. It's going to be easier.
Right. Yeah, I mean, people like Jacob Bates, he's always preaching that too, is that it's about the research much more than it's about anything else.
Well, see, here's the thing. So I don't know if you know Ken, my buddy Ken Reel.
Yep. So
he does his own designing, and he says he probably spends 80% of his time doing research, 20% designing, maybe like 75-25, something like that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But for me, I don't do any of my design. So like 99% of everything I do in merch is this. It's just this stuff all day long, because this is what leads to the money. It's the data behind the numbers that brings money. And
love it.
It's easy. People should be doing it.
Because the design part's easy it's easy to outsource if you wanted to. But the idea part it does take a little bit of higher level thinking. I mean, when you have tools like this, it makes it much easier, but it's not just like you sit someone into a room with a pen and paper and they can just right away think of 10 winning designs, right? It is kind of one of those things that takes a lot of.
Exactly. And see, so I talk to a lot of people that are like, hey, when I'm in the lower tiers, I have 20 shirts up. I haven't got any sales. Like, what's going on? I'm like, okay, show me your designs. And I look at their designs, and I mean, they've made designs for their little second cousin, Timmy, And that's the only target audience is someone who literally doesn't have a credit card.
Yeah.
Of one, and you need to like think critically and like, okay, if I want to make sales, I need to find a target audience that is big enough where I can see daily income coming in, but also small enough where you're not competing against 10,000 other sellers.
Right.
And if you take the 10 minutes that other people are not taking to do what I just showed you in like 15 minutes, like that's going to put you ahead of the line.
Yep.
Everyone. That's going to put you ahead of everyone just because you know exactly what you're doing and they're just guessing.
Right. Love it. Yeah. I mean, that's smart stuff. I mean, I know that a lot of people, when they start, they're probably sitting there and spending way more time like, oh, how do I get more vector icons, or how do I get those perfectly aligned? And I think that all the people that have had serious success with merch it's been about the research. I haven't really met anybody who said that they just got lucky with one beautiful design or a handful of.
Well, and the thing is, some people claim that they don't do research, right? They're like, I just sit down at my computer and do whatever I want. And I know at least one of those people is watching that. And I call it slightly BS on that, because what I'm going to say is, you know what they look at? They look at their past sales. They're like, oh, I'm checking my sales today. I sold a lot of like these shirts. And the next time you sit down at your computer, if something brought you money in the past, like, what are you going to do? You're going to do more of the same, which if you like, whether you like it or not, like that's research.
Yeah. And once you have enough to pull from, it's not. It's
pulling from data. It's either you're pulling from a software or you're pulling from your back end of your merch account.
Right.
How you look at it, you're analyzing data.
Yeah, I mean, and you have to at a certain point. Like, you can't just ignore what's you're not gonna go away from what's working. You're gonna always gravitate towards it. And that's what's cool about tools like this is that, like when you started, you kind of had to guess if what was really selling as much as it was, and now, I mean, you do have the data here to back that up, and then also you have the data. I don't know if anybody missed it or not, but the fact that you can go back a year and see what was popular on that day.
Yeah,
that is so money. We've done stuff like this in the Amazon world where people were wanting to make bundles, and they had a calendar where they were putting together special bundles, and they would prepare the bundles 45 days, 60 days in advance, and they would use the calendar, right, to kind of plan for what they were doing. But with merch, it's like that on steroids. It just seems like if you need to be selling you need to be creating, because you only have so much time anyway, and there's so many shirts that you could be making. You should only be designing the ones that are, the data already shows are popular, right? Or not just popular, but popular, and you have a chance of competing with.
Exactly. And every single year, so I've been doing this like 3 years now. Every single year, if you come into the Merch Hunter and you're like, I wonder what's selling today, and just click the button. If you come in here and this is all you do each day, just to get an idea what's selling, this stuff is going to change depending on what month of the year it is. So when we come up to October, 90% of these right here in the top 100, they're going to be Halloween shirts.
Yeah.
If you go back to February, which I was just looking at down here, if you go back to February 1st, what was selling on February 1st? You can come in here, all the dilly stuff, which probably got a lot of people banned. We got Eagles in the Super Bowl type stuff. Were they in the Super Bowl? I don't follow sports too much.
Oh my God, you really don't follow sports. That was the most recent Super Bowl.
Fun fact, I don't own a TV, so don't fault me too hard there. So I mean, it's
good for you.
I spend way too much time on the computer, but
that sounds insane to me, but that's pretty impressive.
What you need is multiple monitors. Okay, you put Netflix on my monitor.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's
Amazon Video.
Yeah. I Googled that Shane Dawson guy, and he has 16 million subscribers.
16 million.
That's insane. That is a good point, though, because I had this problem when I was blogging. I blog now a ton, but one thing, like when I was blogging or creating videos, and I would try to see what people, sometimes you have to go and see what people are already looking at and already reading or watching. And sometimes I would find these videos, and I would try to redo my own spin on the content or whatever it was.
Right.
And then I would think like, you know what, the reason why that got that much traffic is because the person that did it already had a big following. So like this guy selling this shirt, you and I would not be able to sell 1,800 a day of this pig oh my shirt. I mean,
That's true.
It would, but I mean, you can sell something random, but that's something that I think people should take into consideration as well. If you're gonna try to emulate, consider if that person has an unfair advantage, like the fact that they have 16 million subscribers.
That's another facet of merch, though, right? If that's something that you want to do, if you don't want to use organic traffic, which I don't know why you wouldn't, I consider it pretty much free money if you know what you're doing.
Yeah,
you can go out there and build an audience. I mean, it might not be what you want to do. You might decide not to do it, but I know there's people out there with, I mean, I have tons of friends with 100,000 plus Instagram followings.
Yeah.
All they have to do is post one shirt and they've sold, you know, at a
1%. It kills me when you see people that have amassed really big followings and then they haven't even heard of merch. It's like, you don't have to, it's not like you're not telling anyone to sell out or become super corporate or anything. You don't have to do that. But like, if you have 100,000 subscribers, they might want some merch from you, right? They might want to rep whatever your brand is or buy whatever something you're selling.
Well, here's the thing too,
it's
right?
funny that a lot of people under monetize like that.
If you have 100,000 subscribers on any platform, okay, you have to have $1 million a year business.
Oh yeah, if you don't, you're doing something wrong. Yeah.
Think about it, right? If you have 100,000 subs, you get a 1% sell-through rate, which is abysmal.
Yeah.
1% is 1,000 shirts, right? If I'm doing my math right, 1,000 times, let's say a $5 royalty, they post the shirt that you can easily sell 1,000 in one day if you have 100,000 subs or 100,000 active following. It's $5,000 in a single day, which is more than most people are making on merch a month.
Yeah.
So
yeah, dude. I mean,
if you have that in the back of your head and you're like, well, maybe I want to build an audience on the side slowly and maybe focus on that, I don't know, 30 minutes a day.
I mean, I think a lot of the hustlers in the space have also found the power of partnerships where they're like, hey, I could build an audience. It takes, I mean, people forget how hard that is. There's the reason
it's
why
not easy.
But I think some people are like, you know what, I can kind of hack my way up to having that kind of that reach without actually being the person that's doing it. So it's like the partnership, I know that's a big thing right now is people working with other creators to actually help them get their merch out there.
Using that example, okay, the 100,000 subs, if you went to that person and you're like, hey, let's do a split like 70-30, I get 30%, you give them the majority of the stuff because they did the work, you're still making over $1,000 a day. Just reaching out to people who have an audience. Right. But on the flip side of that, 99.9% of people don't want to work hard at anything. So they're not, or they're too scared to take the step to go talk to someone outside their comfort zone. It's one or the other, and they're not going to try things. I think if you reach out to people or if you don't, like merch by Amazon, you have to be testing things every single day. You just have to. Yeah.
James says, cut to the chase, how much? No, James, just type it into your Google browser. It's right there. I don't know. There's different price tiers. There's no special offer or anything. There's the code FBA today is a discount. But
3 days, it's 3 days free trial, so everyone can go try it. The lowest subscription was $10 a month. So
but yeah, we're not hiding anything. I mean, everything's right that you can just type it in. That we already cut to the chase. But all right, let's show them just because I mean, there's if you guys if you have Merch Informer already, good for you. Check out the videos. If you're not using all of the features yet, definitely watch all the videos. Neil did a good job with those, and it'll just get you up to speed very quickly.
Or if you're brand new to merch, just real quick, if you're brand new to merch and you don't know the first thing about making a sale on Amazon, watch the videos in the upper right hand corner here in the Merch Academy. It's gonna like handhold you through the whole process of here's how to find something, here's how to validate it, here's how to hire someone because you don't know how to draw, which I don't, that does know what they're doing. So watch those, super helpful.
Let's show, just before we sign off, let's show them the merch designer real quick.
All right, so I have a million tabs open. Let's close a few of these.
This is cool. I know a lot of people when they get started, they're not really sure which which service they want to use to actually compose their drawings. I know Photoshop is kind of overwhelming for a lot of people.
Yeah, so Photoshop or AI, if you know what you're doing, is great. They have so many options. They're incredible, right? If you're like me and you don't know what you're doing when it comes to design, and you're running from room to room watching a political argument or something, and you want to just create super simple stuff, the Merch Designer, part of Merch Informer, super easy to use. So you can come in here, choose a product. So we have a pop socket script, hoodie script, because these are different sizes. T-shirt. So I have T-shirt selected, as you can see. You can come over here, add some text. I can just say like, let's call this one Nate.
This is a good shirt. I want to get this.
Yeah, see, and you can give it a color here. We'll give it some white. And you can add some clip art over here, in different categories. Which I don't know why. Actually, I do know why this isn't showing up, because you should be using Google Chrome, which I am not, because I have like 300 tabs open.
I can vouch that it does work.
Yeah. Nate's on Chrome, but you can come in here and you can be like, okay, let's use some open clip art.
So we can do a Nate dog.
Here's a hot dog, right? So I can put here's a cool thing, right? You can do mask features, so I can make the hot dog part of your name. Right?
Ooh.
Get your name and blow it up here. So here's your. All right. So let's say that this is your beautiful T-shirt that you spent hours on. You're gonna upload it. It's gonna do really well. You just hit download.
Yeah, it's gonna do well.
And there you go. It's downloaded, uploaded to Merch.
Yeah, that's the beauty right there, guys, is that is formatted in the exact size that you need to get it up onto Merch without any issues. So that's cool. And I mean, yeah, if you're outsourcing, it's pretty easy to find someone who does Photoshop, like on Upwork. It's kind of common, but I've never been good at Photoshop. Honestly, I've never really taken a full-blown course or anything. So whenever I do the few shirts that I make ever, I usually use something like Merch Informer or another tool, and I end up having to take them out and reformat them to get the right dimensions. Because can you even get the right dimensions anymore on like Canva or?
Dude, I use
Canva still is too small.
Forever. Here's the thing too. They need to be 300 DPI images, which so many of the design tools out there that people are selling for merch.
Right.
Not. They're 72 DPI. It's going to cause issues. The pop socket templates have changed. We actually updated all that the other day. These look like they're cut off, but this is actually exactly what Merch just changed. This is a lot nicer. Real quick, if anyone's using this for pop sockets, people are like, I put some text on here, but they don't have a background color. So what you can do, pick a shape over here, which you can't see because I'm using really crappy Opera for this time being. But you pick a shape and you change the shape color. So if I just add some text here, once you put a shape on here, you're going to see it show up as a layer, and you can turn on and off the layers. So if you make a shape, that's the background color of your pop socket. Just turn it off until you're ready to download. And once you're ready to download, put all your other layers on top, turn it back on, and just hit download. And there you go.
I have to admit, I've not done any pop sockets. I don't understand how they're so popular.
Dude, okay.
Everybody has one phone.
They're the dumbest thing ever, but until you get one. Once you get one, so I actually have one on my phone, if you can see that.
See that?
You fiddle with it all day long. You're just like messing with you're spinning your phone around.
I don't have one. I've got this other stuff though. I've got this on here to like lock. That? It's for my car. Like it's the iPhone X, so it charges.
Okay.
But like, man, I feel like adding any more on it, it's gonna be like.
It's the fidget spinner for phones. That's what it is. I constantly just mess with it.
Because like T-shirts, like I have like a dozen T-shirts, and most people have but like pop sockets, like do you buy a new pop socket every time you get a new phone?
Okay, the majority of pop socket buyers are women. I have been told by female relatives that people match their pop sockets to their phone case, and they use them as like an accessory. Now, I will never understand that, but I will gladly sell to people who do.
Yeah.
So
well, if I become uncool for not having one, I will get one. You bet your ass. I will never fall out of fashion. You know me, but at this point, I just don't get it. But yeah, guys, this has been great. Neil, thank you for coming on, my man. Do we have anything else? Anybody have any questions before we bounce out of here? Again, if you guys are interested, there's no special price or anything. Well, there is that discount, the FBA Today discount. If you're interested in Merch Informer, you can type that in. If not, don't worry about it. And if you don't need Merch Informer to sell, and there's other ways to make t-shirts. There's other ways to do some research, but it is a very, very powerful tool that is very helpful. It's very, very well done, and Neil has really knocked it out of the park with that. But let's see.
I do not know how to get out of this video.
Oh, don't worry about it. I'll just,
I can see Facebook.
Oh, you're trying to see Facebook.
Yeah, but I don't know what kind of like rude stuff people message me over there, so I want to like open it up.
Oh darn. View options, original size. I don't know.
I see the tiny little thing with our two faces.
Okay, I'll.
There we go. Oh, you started sharing your screen.
Yeah. So now it's got my camera up.
Oh.
What's it showing?
It's your face right now. I see your face.
Nice. How do I look?
You look great.
All right, guys. That is it. Neil, thank you. Oh, real quick. Victoria says clip arts. Can we load our own?
Yes. Yeah. So if you're in the designer, all you have to do is go to images, and at the very top, there's going to be a resource tab. If you click resources, right next to the resource tab, there's an upload tab. You just drag and drop your own clip art into there and then put it into whatever design you want.
And that is global, right? Like that will follow you if you log in to Merch Informer somewhere else?
No. So what we did, the designer itself has a save function, and that's going to save in your Chrome cache. So the reason we did that is because people are super paranoid about their designs. For security purposes, we didn't want to put like all your designs on our server. So it's actually stored on your machine. We don't see any of that stuff. But that does mean you're going to have to use the browser that you used if you were to save them to download and edit them.
Right. All right. Anything else? Melinda says, I've noticed white edge on top of uploading image. Is that on the Amazon side?
Yeah. If you have all your stuff to the edge of our designer, if you do see any white edges, that's going to be on an Amazon side. I've actually ordered plenty of the pop sockets that I put up, and there's been no issues.
Othman says, if I had a huge audience, I would not get into merch because of low royalties. Fair enough. I think that it depends.
Depending on what your audience wants.
Yeah, it depends what your audience wants. And if you sell t-shirts everybody that has an audience that would buy t-shirts should offer them. Like every band, I've never been to a concert and a big concert that I paid real money to go to, and the band didn't have some merch there.
Right.
That being said, they're only getting a percentage of it. It's better than nothing, I guess. If people want it,
there's also a ton of different print-on-demand services out there. You can use your same designs that you use on merch. You can use them on Etsy. You can use them on Redbubble. The only difference is some of them you're going to have to do Etsy itself isn't a print-on-demand service. You can hook different print-on-demand services up. It just means you might have to do a little bit more work in exchange for a little bit higher royalty. It just kind of depends on what you feel like you want to do.
I got to get this light situation straightened out. Do you see this? It's like
I got the glare right there.
Yeah. I just pretend like it's a spear.
There you go. You got it.
Just right. All right. Well. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We had a good amount of people there for a little while, but we are going to end it. There will be a replay. So if you missed it, you can either watch it from the beginning here on Facebook, or you can check it out on YouTube. And there, if you're on your YouTube right now, you can check out the link below. There's nothing else really that we've got. Neil, you got anything?
If you haven't tried merch, I think you owe it to yourself to just give a look. It's so easy once you understand it.
Or at least put in your application.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No downside to that.
Yeah, no. All right. It's awesome talking to you, Neil. We need to get together and talk more about just about software development. I'm curious. You did a great job with it, and I'm a big software guy myself. I'd love to talk to you about your strategies and tactics on how you made Merch Informer the way you did so fast.
All right. All right, guys. Appreciate it.
Cool. Hey, get a TV too.
I'll take a look.
It got me bummed out. Like, I'm sad for you.
Dude, you got to get enough monitors. Once you get enough monitors, you're okay.
We'll see.
All right, man.
All right, guys.
Take it easy.
See you, man. All
Bye.
right, I'm gonna